that has all the wonderful info that we need. Test, test, test. Hello. Oh, make sure. Make sure I do my little audio testing. Make sure everything's good, everything's set, and ready to rock. Test, test, test. Hello, hello, welcome. Test, test. Making sure that this sounds alright. Hello, test, test, test. Hello, 1, 2, test. Alright, that sounds nice, dandy, and fine. Stay. Alright, there we go. I think we're all set and ready. Perfect. Hello, welcome. I'm Heroes Legacy, playing an early access of Celestial Crown. This is an Otome game, an 18+ Otome game, made by Parlevin, a visual novel studio that focuses on romance and inclusivity. Their Kickstarter, there should be links in the stream itself. I'll post that there. There's a link to the Captain Minion, their stream. So, all the links are there for Kickstarter, Steam, as well as an early demo, and Twitter. Be sure to follow them, support this game, as they have been ever so gracious to give us early access to this game. I actually have some friends who are voice actors for this game. So to see and have everything kind of roll out, we'll be playing this Celestial Crowns. You get to choose guy or girl. Embark on an Otome dream experience, regaling those of nobility and potential other secrets, because this will be my first time playing this. I only know a bare minimum amount, to not spoil myself, and also to kind of embark on this adventure. I haven't played Otome games in a long while. So this is going to be a very interesting return to that journey. I'm no stranger to like watered down Otomes. They're like, everybody makes the joke of Fire Emblem being like an Otome. It's waifu simulator, and it kind of is. But this is more like actual dating simulator and Otome game. So let's have fun with it. As I said, the links are in Twitch and everything else. Choose your name. Should I go for? You know, I'll go for mine. I'll go for Legacy. Choose your Falcon's name. Ooh. That's it. If I had to name a Falcon. Battle. You know what? Hatsu. I'll name it after one of my D&D characters. Hatsu. Create your character, male or female. she, or they, masculine or feminine. There we go. As I said, this is an Otome game that promotes inclusivity, that is working to promote all branches of the spectrum, and have, honestly, a nice style of fun. Masculine presenting. Pronouns. Yeah, I'll do this as more of like a self-insert. So I do like the stars in this blazer. Is it a blazer or is it a jacket? Either or. And the celestial glowing. Your Highness, Your Majesty, Sire, my monarch, Supreme, my king, my lady, my queen, my lord. So I was actually having a fun chat with one of my friends the other day in regards to nicknames for people. I try to just call people by their names, but also people enjoy like nicknames. I used to, for my cosplay name, I'd always just get called the cosplay that everybody knew me by. So everybody would call me Zach, and I got used to getting called Zach. Of course, I had nicknames in high school. I think of these, it's a tie between Sire and my lord, because some of my D&D friends rage at me. My character's Lord Zivlin Bane. I think King is too regal for me. It's like, oh, my king. It sounds like you're ready to stab me in the back. It's like, okay. My king, please, let me dig this knife ever closer to your back. I think Sire. I like Sire. It's just enough respect and equal parts. Music in this demo is a placeholder. Music will be replaced when the OST is complete, and all the background assets keep the final. The final game will feature many more CGs as well. Thank you for playing. View tutorial or continue? Let's view the tutorial. There are 9 different stats you can use to build your character's personality. These stats are displayed. These stats are displayed as planet icons at the bottom of the screen. Mouse over them to see the corresponding stats, and you can turn this off by turning off the tooltips. Strengths, confidence, practicality, witty. Flaws, impulsive, naive, spoiled. Ruling styles, aggressive, strategic, and gentle. Each character has preferred traits. They also have disliked traits. To pursue your desired love interest, you'll need to think about what sort of traits they'd like, and how you will rule your kingdom. Most choices have a planet icon. This represents what stat will raise upon selecting that choice. If a choice has no planet icon, it might cause the story to branch in different ways, or raise or lower multiple stats. Some choices have unlock requirements. For example, if you have a low practical stat, you might not be able to select a practical choice later. Think carefully about the selections you make. I think very much my style would be. and now this is gonna be a catch-22. It's gonna be practical and impulsive with strategy. Because when I used to play Otome games, I very much I was so bullshit vanilla. I would be like, oh, this seems like a good option. Oh, okay, yeah, like oh, you'd want to get like earn enough flowers or work enough jobs to buy things you love for the people that you like, and just listen to them, be a little wholesome, have a good time. And then as I got older, it's like, all right, we need to throw more mischief. We need to throw more spice, some panache, some zest. We need to add this little Hispanic flavoring to everything. I'm a sucker for strategy. I love impulsiveness, even though it says it's a flaw. I think it's a great flaw to have, to be impulsive. And practicality, because as much as I am an optimist, I'm a realist at heart. So I think those three make up the concoction of what I would do. Oh, do I choose them now? Oh, ow. To Legacy, the King of Lat. Loot? Lout. This will be my final offer. Your attempts to avoid responding with your non-answers and flowery wording are both insulting and amusing. Alright, it already sounds like me. My ultimatum, if you do not hear from you in 1 month's time, your next letter does not bear favorable results, you leave me no choice. Laut and Andromeda must be united for the good of both kingdoms. It is up to you if it must be by force. War is on your hands. If you cannot swallow your pride, think hard on your decision. I have the honor to be your neighboring king, His Royal Majesty Alam. I set the letter back on my desk and close my eyes as the situation sinks in. Laut has just been threatened by a hostile nation. Why is it that as soon as father is gone, everything falls apart? Andromeda's messenger, Falcon, waits patiently on the windowsill for my response, watching me with dark, glinting eyes. His presence agitates my own Falcon, who sits in the corner. His blue I'm gonna mess up my words a bit here. Like, I have ADHD on the brain in high full force. So I will do my best to make sure I read these improperly. His blue-gray feathers are ruffled in agitation. The reddish feathers on her chest are ruffled in agitation. So basically, picking out the style of my bird, of my falcon. I like blue-gray. Blue-gray is always... I do like red. Red and blue. What's that make? Purple rain. Well, you know what? Since it's based off my D&D character as well, at least the name, I'll pick a bluish-gray. My study has always been warm, inviting place where I could go to ease the stress of the day. Now sitting here and staring at the pile of deceivingly beautiful parchment that marks each letter King Alam has sent me, all I feel is stress. How dare he! I smile and hide the panic spreading through me. Wait, I understand where he's coming from. Practical. You know what? I'm not a how dare he. I'm very much I'm a neutral bitch. I understand where he's coming from. Were we to marry, it would guarantee peace between our kingdoms for the foreseeable future. With me at his side on the throne, even without being a ruling monarch, the rules of war state that neither Andromeda nor Laut could instigate anything without significant cause. Considering the volatile relations to our two kingdoms, it would make sense to force a bond through marriage, yet. Very relatable, Avery. Yeah. Loon. I like your design. Your design is really cool. You're taking this surprisingly well. What am I to do? Grow angry? We knew that relations between Andromeda were getting worse. My father said our last missive exchange was the poorest yet due to decision to renew the trade ban. Yes, well, I'm sure they saw that coming. They've been stockpiling iron from Grimm and refused any outside request to send workers. Yeah. So what will you do? I haven't decided. This is not a decision to be made lightly. No, but some haste would be appreciated. He's given you, time. 1 month. That's plenty of time. A month. I've got this. Fix the kingdom, solve the problems, settle trade dispute. All in a day's work. I push the letter aside and stand. Walking over to the falcon perched on the windowsill, crooks his head, and I reach out slowly, clear with my intentions. You must have some other solution. My father always said that your talents lie in finding easy solutions to hard problems. So where is mine? If you dislike my advice, I recommend you remain diligent in your prayers and hope for the planet's favor. You always say that, and I think you're just giving yourself an excuse to have terrible advice. After eyeing me dubiously for a few moments, the falcon bows his head and allows me to drag a finger over his velvety. I sit next to him on the windowsill and fold my arms across my chest. Excuse me, sire. I led your father through some of the most difficult times in Lot's history. Yes, I've heard the stories. I believe that we are coming up on another one of those difficult times. My advice is not terrible. I am giving you the best option. You said it yourself. Marrying King Alam is the only thing that makes sense. What do we know about King Alam, really? No one outside Andromeda has ever seen him. I've heard he even forbids paintings or drawings of his visage. His father and his father were both assassinated. I think he has good reason to avoid public appearances. I've also heard that he can spellcraft. Do you think that could be true? Just because most kingdoms have lost spellcrafting in the royal lines does not mean all have. It's not impossible. Hey, Arlie Vince. Give you a day? Oh, alright. Look at you being an overachiever. What are you going to do with the rest of that time? You going to go on a lavish vacation? Live in the life of luxury? Or put more work on yourself? You seem like a person who works too hard. Are you going to work to yourself to the bone? Are you not going to stop at one day? You'll fix the kingdom's problems in a day, and then you're going to go for the world, aren't you, next? Yeah. I bet you would fix the world's problems. You magnificent person, you. The only truly impressive spells that remain are the ones built into the castle. A few powering lights, running water, heated water. In the city, they must pump their water, then boil it if they want a hot bath. My maid and I used to joke that there was no king of Andromeda, and that his advisor, who sends out their quarterlies, was the person running the show in his letters. He's much less interesting than the rumors. I'm sure he feels the same way about you. How lovely of you to say. Lynn looks at me and sets their letter down on the top of the stack. I might say that it's inappropriate to gossip about such things with help. But my words have fallen on deaf ears before. Thoughts frazzled and no closer to a solution. I walk my way back to my desk, pull a sheet of fresh parchment from the pile in the corner. Leave me. I must write my response. Ugh. Are you certain you wouldn't like me to write a draft? No. Loon twists his lips as I settle back in my seat. I know. It's inappropriate. But this is too important to delegate. I must get my own hands dirty. You know what I mean? As you wish. So, another thing to note and I had to make sure. I didn't realize it too, but I found it in the settings. This game is 18 plus, so there's some spicy scenes, of which I will not be showing because I don't want to get banned. But if you, yes you, watching this video, want to try out the demo, see some saucy nature for yourself, go right on ahead. Links are up in the chat above. Don't look at me like that. It's only a letter. Under different circumstances, being alone together in my study would be inappropriate. But here we are. Loon stares at me as if I've said something offensive. Oh, what? I'm sorry. Too forward? How dare I? Your Highness, I'm your advisor, not a match. Are you sure about that? Your deep silvery eyes potentially say otherwise. I said under different circumstances. I pull my largest inkwell towards me and pick up a quill, muttering under my breath as I start formulating the letter in my head. Now, leave me. I have much to write, much to discuss, much to do for the king of the country. Fine, don't forget, the Andromedan ambassador will be arriving soon. Today, possibly, remember what we discussed. We want to make a good impression, lest the king decide war is preferable to tolerating you. Yes, I remember. Loon leaves, and the guards outside close the door behind them. Thank you, gods! Take a deep breath, and dip the nub of the quill, the nib of the quill, jeez, into the night black ink. Dear King Alaun, thank you for your ever so wonderful letter, which I just received on this Thursday, the 13th day of then, on April 29th of 2023. I do apologize if my previous letter has come off as I am avoiding responding to your demands. I can assure you that was not my intention. I agree that this has gone long enough. You shall have my response in 1 month's time. Also, if my dramatics get, like, too much, please just tell me to shut up and say it like it is. I have the honor to be your obedient servant, A.N. Bum 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 bum. Your kind neighbor, King Legacy. It takes time to both craft an appropriate response and write a draft where my penmanship is worthy of my title. Thank you, Avery. Come! I beckon the falcon over as he flies and settles himself on my desk. Every time you read the script, yeah. Oh, nice. Harley Vins. A.Ham, bum 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 bum, A.Burr. I roll the letter into the neat scroll and seal it with my personal seal. You know, like the soldier symbol with a little hue, silver stamp. It's like, I envision this to be like silver wax with like black wax on top of it that's done in the insignia. Yeah. Nice. Take this to King Alaun. Place it in no one's hands but his. You got that, Hatsu? The falcon gives a dutiful wave. Oh shit, I didn't know he could wave. His talons before shooting off towards the window. I watch him fly, sucking in a lungful of air, and curling my toes in my shoes. Yes, my toes, not his toes. My toes. 1 month, just 1 month to decide the fate of my kingdom. Oh, whatever is the Lord to do. I've never felt less ready to rule. Time to do something reckless. No, I'm kidding. I've been given 2 options, and I do not fancy the first. It does not make the second any more palatable. But if war is possible, I must confer with the general. I need to know if it's feasible, or if we'd be defeated before our swords left our sheaths. After leaving my study, one of two guards outside follows me down the hall. Hello, Bertrand. The familiar marching cadence of the heavy footsteps is simultaneously relaxing and irritating. Could you jangle a little less, Bertrand? Thank you. When I'd merely been an heir, the guards had not tolerated after me like baby ducklings. I am still attempting to let it fade into the background as father could. The sweet dulcet tones of clamoring armor as we trot down the way. We make for the main stairs, down and then turn toward the east wing, and the door to the training grounds. Unsurprisingly, the general is there. What is surprising is finding him mid-duel. I recognize his opponent as one of the newer recruits, a fresh-faced little thing who was conveniently hovering around the general. I don't remember his name, but I do remember how the general flushed at the kid's obvious admiration. He's always been too humble for his own good. The trainee, breathing hard, face red with exertion, sword arm shaking with every block and attempted swing. I wait patiently on the sidelines as they spar, knowing it will be over soon. The general in excellent form, all his movements purposeful. He disarms the trainee with little effort and brings the wooden sword to his throat. I yield! The harsh expression leaves the general's face, and he smiles, lowering his weapon. Great job, Leo. Big improvement. Ah, shucks, General. You beat me to something good. I'm nowhere near your level. Don't need to be. We don't count our seeds before they grow. You're right. Oh, King Legacy. General Hamada whips around, apparently startled by my appearance. Sire, what's got you coming all the way? I mean, is there anything I can assist you with, sire? We got a showman. Do you have a moment? I would like, General, I need your expertise. Straight to the point, discussing strategy. The General stands a little straighter, increasing his already impressive height. Oh, thank you. I'm happy to help. What's the puzzle? The same one I've been dealing with for the past 6 months. The General frowns in understanding. Andromeda? Precisely. I think it's better if we have a private conversation. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Elbow, elbow. Alright, Leo. Here, can chaperone. I wave my hand. No, this is a delicate matter. Come with me to the council room. We will speak alone. The General gives me a blank stare as if he's still clueless. The 16-year-old kid I met all those years ago and not an impressive knight in shining armor. But sire, is that really? I'm surprised at you, General. I wouldn't think you cared. Oh, well, it's just that I'm a match now. Thought it wouldn't be appropriate. Ah. Since my father promoted him to general a year ago, that makes him an eligible marriage candidate. I've been around Sai so long without having to think about that sort of thing that it's hard to change my mindset. Shake my head, deciding properly. Propriety. Properly. Here, let me. There we go. Sorry, I was a little thirsty. Shake my head, deciding propriety will have to wait. I am straight, hetero, but I can still appreciate. I like the various features. Very nice. Like with the priest more. I prefer, like the silver eyes. like silver, like those hazel and like blue eyes always get me every time. So if it's any of those colors, I'm always like, all right, nice. It's fine. Time is of the essence. We must speak, and I'd rather not call the council and have dozens of differing opinions biting at my ears. They are. The priest, I think the priest seems like the one that you have to like initial opinions, because we just started this. If I had to guess, I think the priest is going to be one of those low-key, I know 5 steps ahead of whatever you're going to do, and I'm not going to show it until absolutely necessary, and then just have this like highbrow opinion of like I know too much, and I think I'm low-key smarter than you, but don't want to outright say it. And just has all the answers and is just like waiting to be like, I told you so. Oh, do you have a thing for me? Huh, who would have guessed? Oh, me, of course. I fully imagine that to be a conversation. The general gives a hesitant nod. I take a step closer and I speak quietly, so Leo and the guard might be spared my words. Andromeda has given me a 1-month ultimatum. Understood, sire. I'll continue my drills. General Hamada, sir! That's fine, Leo. Why don't you take a break? Overworking yourself is the quickest way to cold, and we need our soldiers well. Yes, sir! I'm hungry, sir! He scurries off and then skids to a halt and turns. Sire! Are all your troops so taken with you? Oh, no. I think Leo's just happy that he passed his first trial. He's been asking for extra lessons since he got here. Well, I'm glad to see our new recruits so eager to come. I turn to the guard who accompanied me from the study. You're dismissed, Bertrand. All I need is to fulfill the requirements of the guard detail. Is someone capable with me. I much prefer Sahi? Having a guard constantly behind me rattles my nerves, as if it's inevitable that something will happen. You're gonna miss Bertrand. Bertrand just like any mixture of that Alfred Pennyworth in like regal armor who's just like trying to do his duty, already has the spilled tea like on everything, knows ins and outs, like already is low-key as he's following me around, is like, alright, my bets are on this one. Alright, never mind, my bets are now on this one. But with the gossip I had, I swore I would have been this one. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna go for this one. Alright, I got it. Like, always, that's why he hovers so closely. He wants to know. He's like us. He's like me. For real. Just wants to know. Who will they choose? General comes up to me, walking directly by my side. General Hamada, you should know by now that 2 steps behind is customary. I don't mind. I've known Sai so long that he doesn't feel like a subordinate. On a whim, I slow my pace until I'm a few steps behind him. Ooh, I'm between the first one and the third one. I like that. I like the cheekiness of it all. I'm like, hey, 2 steps behind. But the on a whim is so good. Because I'm leaning more towards on a whim, because if I was like self-insert here, I'd want to test subconsciously a potential partner or a potential person or like someone that I'm close with. Be like, all right, let's see what they do here, and just take notice of subtle things that they do. So I think I'll go on a whim. So it's on a whim, but it's more purposeful and tactful. So it's like, I have the whim to just push the button here. I'll go that one. The general turns curiously, tilting his head. After a moment, he seems to understand and quickly backtracks until he is the one behind me. Hey, non-verbal communication. Ah, good. Oh, sorry, sire. I'm always forgetting myself. Don't worry, General. We've been acquainted since we were children, and walking behind the heir isn't a requirement. Sai gives me a sheepish smile. Yes, we have known each other since we had pigtails, haven't we? Commoner Eidolons. Eidolons? Yeah, Eidolons. Idioms, that's what it is, idioms. Have always eluded me. Most of the time, I can understand the general gist, but at times like this, I have to smile and nod. Have you been adjusting to this? All this? Being king? Well, I might have adjusted better without this Andromeda nonsense. I still recall that first letter. I couldn't believe it. I wouldn't either. It must have become a shock. Sai clears his throat, gripping the hair on the back of his neck. So you weren't, flattered at all? Flattered by a declaration of war? I mean, maybe. Someone burning a kingdom down for little old me? Oh, that maybe quite... I mean... No, by the proposal. Ah, no, I could not be flattered by this odorous actions. Even the parchment reeked of elderberry. Ooh. Oh, gosh. Sorry, I'm just having a time with it. Right, of course. We take the staircase up to the second floor and then down the hall to the council room. I know this is the most direct route, but I can't help but slow the closer we get. This takes us past the library. As soon as we pass the tall double doors, I falter, like I have every time I've had to take this route in the past 6 months. Sire, is everything alright? Ah, yes, my apologies. That was the last place I saw my father alive. Ugh. I close my eyes against the image that threatens to overtake my brain. Taking a deep breath, my head starts spinning and my knees go weak. Legacy. Sai takes hold of my shoulders, his gloved hands heavy on my skin. Startle me out of my head. Sai, the only person who ever touches me. Aside from the maid who helps me. Forget about the maid. Unless I need the help. He's also the only person who slips up and calls me by my name, instead of sire. It's not technically allowed, but he was not formally trained with royal etiquette, pinky out, like the members of the court or council, or even the castle station guards and servants were. He had so many meetings with my father when we were younger, and I'd liked attending. It tickled me that we had same scars over the same eyebrow. Oh, neat. Eyebrow scars. We felt simply had to be friends. Just wait till you meet the main. She's unforgettable. Oh, fun. Father always called me Legacy. So Sai assumed it was okay to do so. We were older. He still hasn't fallen out of the habit. Yes, my apologies. I just had a dizzy spell. Oh. Sai glances over to the door of the library, frowning. Is he going to attack the door for me? You need a minute? No. I'm fine. Oh. If you could, let go of me. It's improper. No, We can't be seen like this. I mean, we can't be seen. He rips his hands away, clasping them behind his back as he takes a few steps in the opposite direction. Take care of that Minotaur door. Slashes it in two. Now it's an open entryway. Sorry, sire. We arrive in the council room. I take another deep breath to calm my frazzled nerves. There's far more to worry about than things beyond my control. The room's back wall is decorated with a large mural that details our kingdom's history. The monarch's seat has its back to its illustrated history, and as I approach, I see the ghost of my father. When I blink, it dispels the image. Damn archmages playing cruel tricks on me. I'll teach them a thing or two. Close the door. Sigh. When I don't hear the sound of the door closing, I turn to regard the general with a cautious look. Are you sure? Sure about what? People have been questioning my actions this entire day. It's like I'm not fit to rule a kingdom. I swear to you, I'm not crazy, you're all crazy! Right, you're sure, of course. You're sure. You're king and all. He turns and pushes the door shut, so slowly I don't even hear the click of the hatch. He then turns around to face me, his hands clasped behind his back, a gesture to the seat next to me. Oh man, whoa. I accidentally wheel-scrolled there. I saw doors fly open and close shut. I see some blush right there. He then turns around to face me, his hands clasped behind his back. I just said that? Can you come closer? Closer, sure. After a few seconds, Zai walks over to the table and pulls out the high-backed chair next to him. Alright, now then, tell me, General, realistically, what are our chances of success if we were to go to war against Andromeda? Sorry, I had to sneeze there. You mean you're considering? I have to look at every option. I don't want to cause a panic. I want to hear your opinion before I bring this up to the rest of the council. We have good men and women who would fight to the death for this kingdom, sire, but... Well, you know, the rumors. King Alan can spellcraft. Yes. Hello, Union. If there's one thing I know about Andromeda, it's that they follow tradition. He would be on the front lines. There we go. If there's one thing I know about, he would be on the front lines. If he's on the front lines with that kind of power, I'm not sure we can stop him. Oh, I'm such a fool. Yeah, let me move that. I did not thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me not hide this. You know what would be the best? Because sometimes it's over here too. So, like right there, I think I could be like, "Hi, I'm resting on your shoulder. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna hang out here. Talk your ear off a little bit. What's up?" If there's one thing, I just said that. I'm not sure how we could stop him. He's not invincible. There must be some strategy we could try. Maybe. He can only light candles with the snap of his finger or call ice sculptures into existence by waving his hands like the Queen of Canis. But there are tales of ancient royals that say they could rain fire down from the sky. That they could reform the earth beneath you, your feet, or freeze you solid before you can blink. Oh, come now. Surely that can't be true. It does sound pretty fantastic. But that's the point. We don't know. The soldiers have been gossiping about it since Andromeda's first missive after the king's passing. They're scaring themselves. That alone is enough to put us at a disadvantage. He reaches out to one gloved hand to tap the map etched onto the wood of the table, pointing out Murk Forest. Murk Forest. One thing we do have on Andromeda is our resources. Our mines allow us to generate weapons and armor at a faster pace. Andromeda is so cold and mountainous, they can't explore enough of their territory to find new supply points. I suspect that this is why King Alam truly wants prosperity and ample resources for his people. That's why I think another solution would be to reopen Betelgeuse trade route. Betelgeuse, yeah. I believe I'm saying that right. What? Really? Loon? Always the trade ban is the only thing that gives us power over Andromeda. Beetlejuice? Betelgeuse. I think it would truly make a difference. It would show the king that there are ways to merge our kingdoms without resorting to war. I lean back in my seat and consider this, squeezing my hands together in an almost menacing-like fashion. I think it's a good idea. Something to consider at the least. Sai's confident posture drops, and he stares at me with wide eyes. What? Truly? Yes. Why do you doubt yourself? You're the youngest general Lutz has ever had. You're clearly intelligent. Sai ducks his head and clears his throat. Well, I can't speak to that, sire. I just thought you'd know. I should have saved the advice for Loon, since he's supposed to be the only one with your ear and all. Oh, okay, the only choices I have are these three. Okay, if that is all, other things to be doing. So, short and to the point. I will share this with Loon. I think he'll like this idea as well. Scandalous, and flirting more on the Loon side. That would have been more appropriate strategy. Let's see. Just a reminder, folks, in the chat too is the Twitter link. Twitter link is over to Cap Minion, to their Twitter, that also has all the links to Steam, to Kickstarter, and everywhere else for this project. Just want to make sure I plug that in while I'm figuring out my choice here. So while I mull over this decision, you can mull over the decision to go look at those links and see about checking this game out. Alright. So, towards the beginning of the stream, I said how much of a vanilla bitch I was when I used to play Otome games. Or, like, romance dating sims. Because I would want to, like, whoever I bonded with first would be my immediate, like, oh, I don't want to let them down. Oh, I don't want to let them down. And I would just immediately end up romancing them. There's Alright, you get out of here. Don't you bring up my dark past. Alright. I love the spice. Anyway, instead of my previous choices that Union is pointing out to oh so wonderful chat, I'm going to go with my choices here in this game. Celestial Crowns. Check it out on Kickstarter. I am playing the safe for work version because I'm streaming on Twitch, but you, yes, you could play the not safe for work version and have your own time. Launches onto the first character. That's very fair. I genuinely want to see what all the options are. And, like, I want to come to a conformed decision unless someone, like, wows me so hard that I'm like, ah, fuck. Alright, well, I'm in trouble. See, see? Okay. Prologue doesn't have the NSFW content, but it'll be in the roots. Fun. Oh, so I'm still in the prologue stuff. I want to go with a more strat play. That would have been more appropriate, I think. Yeah. Ah, of course, you're right, Sire. I'll keep that in mind for next time. Alam will wow you? Oh. Oh, fun. Alrighty. Of course, you're right. Sire, I'll keep that in mind for next time. I wave a hand. And don't worry about it, General. My father didn't choose you because he thought you were appropriate. He chose you because you are the best. So keep doing what you're doing, and be the best you that you could be. Sai gives a small smile. I certainly will. I should get back. I do need to prepare for the afternoon practice. I'll see you at your next lesson. Of course! I need to keep up my fencing prowess. As a royal should, you know. Sai bows, and I watch him leave the room and close the door behind him. Once he is gone, I focus my attention on the table. Ending the trade ban with Andromeda. Blah, blah, blah. Just considering it would make my father roll over in his grave, but the general is right. That is their real goal. Not necessarily a uniting, but a sharing. An open arms, if you will. Lead the world with open arms. Lead the world with open arms. If our two kingdoms were to be bonded by marriage, then a trade ban would no longer be appropriate. It would have to be amended. Perhaps it's something King Alam would consider. I suppose there's only one way to find out. Though nothing has changed, I feel better with this additional option. Less backed into a corner, even still, I must make my decision. Do I agree to marry King Alam? Or leave Lot to a successor, my family lineage, ended like a candle snuffed? I could appoint Loon or Sai, and I'm sure they'll do an excellent job running the kingdom in my stead, but that isn't the point. This is my birthright. I have waited long to take the throne, to be Lot's ruling monarch, to leave a legacy of my own. Damn it. While it did not happen the way I intended, this is all I ever wanted. Could I give that up for a guaranteed peace? I don't know, and Sai is right. There are too many unknowns about Andromeda's capabilities. We would need to gather more information. Latte? Oh, latte like the drink. Okay. Latte. Celeste stands, rise up. Perhaps the Andromedan ambassador, when he arrives, will give us some insight. I know that Loon would see ending the trade ban as the most extreme option. It goes against all the history we have with Andromeda. I sigh and trace the route from latte to Andromeda on the map with my finger. Ow! A spark startles me, and I yank my hand back, annoyed. Knowing nothing will come of brooding, I rise and walk to the door. Just before I swing it open, there's a knock. Sire, I have news. Ah, Celeste. Aw, She's cute. I pull the door open to see Celeste, my personal maid. What is it? She looks like she's barely holding back her excitement. For Celeste, though, isn't saying much. She gets the same way whenever Lune walks into the room. The Andromeda Ambassador is here, the Royal Guard. Wait until you see. They make quite the picture. Already? Lune had said soon, but I imagine it wouldn't be this soon. Yes, will you change? I look down at my suit. What's wrong with this? Finest threads in the land. Do you see how my cape sparkles with the very stars themselves? Please, I'm magnanimous. Celeste leans back and threads her fingers together. Nothing, of course, sire. It's just very well. I mean, you have at least 3 fine suits, but you wear the same thing every day. Wouldn't it be better to, like, shake it up a little? He will be reporting everything to someone who could be your future husband. I do not wear the same thing every day, and I hardly care what impression Andromeda's ambassador has of me. Celeste pouts in disappointment, adorable as she is. She loves any excuse to dress me up. Really, I'm like a giant doll to her. After a moment, she peers past me into the room. I just saw General Hamada leave here. Were you two alone? We were discussing a private matter. Sire, I did not see this coming. Oh wait, hold on, Celeste. I see that look in your eye. Nope, nope, nope. Hot eyes. Down, hot eyes. Quit writing your own fanfiction. You're getting ahead of yourself. Wait for me to write the fanfiction, and then you can write the follow-up. What? Celeste? The General and I were just talking. Honestly, must you corrupt every scenario you come across? What? That's a relief. I think you could do much better. What's wrong with the General? And if you're trying to be wingman, you could at least escort me around. Bertrand has been doing far too good of a job and already suspects too much, and I need a change of pace. Nothing. Well, it's just... he's a bit of a brute, isn't he? And rather plain. I know everyone in the castle loves him, but whose opinion will you trust? Some servant you don't know from the stars, or me, and certainly not Bertrand. It's me, right? Me. I fold my arms across my chest, struggling not to look amused. Better to be in good spirits for this critical meeting, I suppose. It will be hard, though. What sort of king sends his ambassador when he's supposedly trying to woo someone? Come then. I'm ready. So exciting! Did you know this is the first time the Andromedans have stepped foot on Latte's soil in nearly 200 years? No, I did not. Oh, sire, that was a trick question. It was only just in your history lesson the other day. You really need to pay more attention. You're king now. If you never finish your lessons, what will people think? Hey, tricking the king is against law. Come on. Have they been taken to the throne room? Yes, they're here now. Sirius is keeping them entertained. Right. Celeste and I hurry down the hall. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. When we arrive in the throne room, my council is already there, including the advisor and general. All proclamations, delegations in attendance. A full delegation... Oh, read that. A full delegation of Andromedans wait in the center of the room. They're dressed so strangely, in clothes lined with fur that's too much warm for the weather here. Front and center is a man with imperious expression, who I assume must be Andromeda's ambassador. All of the Andromedans were much taller than Lattes. That word's going to always fuck with me. But the ambassador in particular towers over them all. He might even be taller than Lune. And he's the tallest lot I know. Lots, yeah. Nerves freeze my stomach. My palms grow so cold it feels like they're sweating frost. This is my first time meeting a foreign official as king. It is my first time meeting a foreign official at all. I never accompanied my father on trips to other lands. It was not common for us to get visitors tucked away in the mountains as we are. Once I'm seated, a servant steps forward, thank you, Bertrand, and announces our guest. Wait, Bertrand, when did you change? Get back in your royal guard outfit. Introducing his lordship, Ambassador Rift Karam of Andromeda. The ambassador steps forward, coming to stand before the throne. Ah, hello. Hi. Huh. Okay. Oh, man. Alright, what should I give this one? You are King Legacy, I assume. Do you keep all your guests waiting long? He speaks in a booming voice. That was not a booming voice. To fill the entire room, making me lean back in my seat. Hold on, let me try that again. You are King Legacy, I assume. Do you keep all your guests waiting so long? There we go. He speaks in a booming voice that seems to fill the entire room, making me lean back in my seat. I'm taken back by the criticism, unused to being spoken so rudely. I'm going to do it right. Throw some bass in that voice. Hey, knocked. Hey. Alright, so more along this type, then. Do you really want this level of bass? I mean, I'll give him this. I don't know. I didn't want to be stereotypical about it. Fine. I'll give him this, then. You son of a bitch. Get your goddamn woo-woos out of here. It's the king. I'm so afraid of his own shadow. Okay. Alright. I gotta make an important choice here. There's a lot of choices. I was like, after the last one, I'm like, alright, hey, I'm limited to only 3 choices. No, this I'm given a whole freaking Skittles. I had something and then I lost it. And bleh. Alright. Alright. Just caught up in something pragmatic. Yes, it's lost tradition. Thank you for respecting it. Alright, might have come sooner. I might have come sooner if I had a king's waiting for me. Alright, screw it. I'll just voice all these and I'll go with whichever sounds nicer. Or sounds like the one that I want to do. I was caught up in something. Yes, it's Latte's tradition. Thank you for respecting it. That has a little sass for me that I like. I like that one. Do all your men attempt to bully their way into marriage? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You're in my castle now, Ambassador. I expect to be treated with respect. as I have respected your king by allowing you here. Is the king so afraid of his own? No. No, who's afraid? I love this shirt. No, I don't want to afraid. Is king so afraid of his own shadow that he will not deign to grace me with his presence? I decide to ignore the question. Welcome to Lot, Ambassador. I decide to ignore the question. I hope this will be a peaceful assembly. You know what? I like the tradition. I like the wit. The ambassador wrinkles his nose in confusion, then stares at the ground. Seriously considering my words, I allow him to wander, crossing my legs and folding my hands in my lap as the silence begins to grow awkward. Loon speaks. The king does so enjoy humor. Please accept our gracious welcome to our home. Ambassador Riff. Ah, humor. Apparently neither of them thought it was very funny. There were other few seconds of silence before the ambassador lifts his head and claps his hands together. Our people do not. Hey, not. I always have to, if I ever want to do this like deep low, and this is going to be hard for me because I'm going to like go between bit to bit to bit. The thing that I always do is kind of like a vocal preset for me to get into this voice, because I did it for Gladio for a Final Fantasy 15 stage performance. It was like, hey, Noct, come on. Our people have not communicated in person for 200 years. Easing the tension with humor is an excellent idea. Well, everyone laugh! The accompanying Andromedan members and guards all give an obligatory laugh. Your humor is very different from ours, but the gesture is acknowledged. I already hate him, and I've never regretted sarcasm before. As declared in our last letter, I'll have come to discuss the options for Latte and Andromeda moving forward. Yes, your king seems fairly intent on two. Those are the only options he sees. You have been dismissive of my king's letters. Dismissive is a strong word. Loon warned me, and I did not initially grasp the gravity of the situation. It was hardly a month after my father's death, and the first letter came, and there were other things on my mind. Not dismissive, I simply have not made up my mind. He folds his arms and across his broad chest. That's why I'm here. We hope an in-person discussion will help you come to a decision. I sit forward in my chair and narrow my eyes. The king said I would have a month. Is he going back on his word? Not at all. I look forward to spending the next month with you, King Legacy. He cannot be serious. I snap my eyes over to Loon, but he seems unsurprised by this turn of events. Help me, Loon! Help me! I suppose it's unreasonable to expect him to leave immediately after a journey that took weeks. Loon badgering me daily about what I would do is enough. To have an entirely new council do the same thing? On top of that, having him and the other Andromedans in the castle for so long makes me uneasy. What if their intentions are less than honorable? What if this is all a ploy for intel for inevitable war? What if they destroy my Lego set? I'll be most displeased. Calm down, Legacy. You're getting as paranoid as Loon. Take a breath. Force myself to relax. Take a nod in my head and step away. Right. Allow me to introduce my company. I have with me 3 kings' most trusted council members. Council Member Isis, Council Member Damsa, and Council Member Jalil. That's awesome, Avery. He does not acknowledge the other 6 with him. Considering these are dressed in armor and carry weapons, I assume they are members of the Royal Guard. The others look to be servants. Bertrand, go play nice. Go say hi to their Royal Guard and, I don't know, mingle. That's what we do, right? Mingle in these days. Yes, we are not savages. We are lattes. We are served with medium scalding heat, and we better make a damn good impression. So off with you. Peace. Show them up. Welcome to Latte, Council. You will meet my own council in due time. Still feeling rather blindsided, I cannot help but call out to their timing. I must admit, I was not expecting you so soon. We made damn good time through the valley. The weather was on our side. The planets must have blessed your path. Realizing I have not introduced Loon, thinking about that in hindsight is probably really bad when you don't introduce your advisor. Oh, hey, here's just a dude with a staff that looks cool. Hey, everybody. That's Loon. Nice to meet you all. Yes, ignore the prayer beads. They are just very... Don't ignore the prayer beads and respect their traditions. There we go. Yeah, that. You know what, Loon, did I do right? That what we practiced? No? No? Too much? Yes? No? Look, I'm trying to be king here. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to show everybody. I will be back to you all in a minute. Sorry. Realizing I have not introduced Lum, I press the open palm in his direction. This is my royal advisor, Loon Limiere. He will, of course, be joining our discussions. Yes, we spoke while waiting for you to arrive. Suddenly, I do regret showing up late, as I will have to ask Loon exactly what he said later. Eager to end the tedious greetings, I rise, and Loon does as well. In honor of this most momentous occasion, we shall hold a grand ball the week of your departure. I force a smile, glancing at Loon, wondering why on earth he said that. I vaguely recall a tradition like that tucked away in our laws for visiting dignitaries, but surely the play at propriety could be excused? We are on the brink of war. But there's a smattering of applause, so all I can do is lift my hands, clap as well, exhausted princess wave, flick my hair back. The thought of the long month that awaits. I give my excuses. Well, you must be tired from your journey. Sirius will be your personal servant during your time here. They will show you and your ensemble to your rooms. We'll meet first thing in the morning to discuss your concerns. I gesture for Sirius to do just that and turn to leave the way I came. No, I want to speak now. You've been putting it off for far too long. I am hardly prepared to meet, especially with the new option Sai presented to me. I grit my teeth, glance at Loon. Give him the side-eyed glance of help me, help me. It does not indicate that he thinks I should do. It figures when I actually want his opinion, he remains silent. What a bitch. I think it would be best to wait until morning. Alright then, we will speak now. Both of these both of these, they're just choices. They're not choices in regards to any of these columns. I see that my strategy's gone up a little, which is nice. Hold on one second. I need to blow it. While this is happening in the moment, check out these links. Make sure that you are following along with the Twitter for this game's release. The Kickstarter is still going live for Celestial Crowns. And hey, check out the preview, check out your game, and there's some 18 plus moments for some of you in the background who like your smut. So enjoy. Toodles. Alright, there we go. Done with that now. Back to the game. As I said, I'm going to play like this I would in real life. I think that shit should be talked about and addressed immediately. So, yeah. I'm just going to be like, up front. Alright, let's speak now. Fuck it. As the words leave my mouth, I feel regretful. I had not wanted to be pushed around by this ambassador, but here I fold under the first bit of pressure. I saw this as me being like, alright, fine, you want to speak? Let's speak. But, you know what? I see this perspective. That's fair. Alrighty then. Maybe I don't have enough, what was the one, I don't have enough confidence to be presented an option that would have been like, yeah, you know what? You want to speak now? Let's speak now. Maybe I didn't have enough confidence for such a choice, for such an option. And with the, let me fold over like a pretzel. Instead of folding, I think of it as getting it over with. Okay, no, alright. You know what? I should just shut up and keep going, because it's clearly on the same track of what I'm thinking. So, there we go. I think of this as getting over with it. The first meeting is bound to be the messiest. After this, things should run smoother. See? Such discussions are best held in the council room. I agree. Lune bows to the ambassador, before turning and beginning to march to the staircase. Bye, Lune. I feel comforted by Lune's presence, as I know that he will, at least, always have something to say, like the smarmy bitch he seems to be. I increase my stride until I can walk next to him, speaking quietly, through gritted teeth. Please keep your opinions about my marriage to yourself. Sire, I will speak nothing of decisions. You have not yet made one for yourself, even if I think you are being foolish. Yep. Terrace in your head. I wish I weren't so nervous. I knew the ambassador would be coming soon, even if not quite this soon. The air is tense and filled with whispers. To no surprise, my council leans close to gossip amongst themselves, eyes flicking to the Andromedans every so often. The Andromedans do the same, leaving everyone shifting and bobbing in bizarre dance. The lots have their usual seats, and the Andromedans, council members, sit in guest seats that they have been pulled up as a second ring around the table. Ambassador Rift sits directly opposite my chair. Oh, the ambassador's name is Rift. I thought, for some reason, I thought that was a title. Like, the ambassador. Ambassador. I can feel his eyes on me as I enter the room, and I choose to ignore him as I walk around the table. Sahi, already in his seat, to my left, and Loon takes his to the right. I am the last to sit. I would like to begin by saying the king sends his gratitude for allowing his presence in Latte to discuss the future of our kingdoms. I nod and keep my expression as neutral as possible. With your father King Terra dead, the path ahead is clear. Beneath the table, my hand curls into a fist, and rightfully so, as a thump goes right into it. The late king promised you, to King Alam, to unite our two kingdoms. Excuse me? Promised? Why was I not informed? The agreement was made long ago, on your 22nd birthday. Oh, how old am I? Wait, on your 22nd birthday? The agreement was made long ago on your 22nd birthday. Oh, never mind. I read that wrong. The agreement was made long ago, not on my 22nd birthday. It was for my 22nd birthday that I were to become king of Alam's groom. Pragmatic, impulsive. Let's like always say all of these. My father would never plan something like that without consulting me. Explain yourself. I don't remember that agreement. You must be mistaken. You lie. 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 Pragmatic. Kind of like wit. Naive. Not wit. Practicality. Practicality and wit. I think I would go with explain yourself. Don't rush to a conclusion. Explain. Yeah. I intend to. In our monthly correspondence, the king and I discussed the future of Latte and Andromeda. We both agreed that the only way forward was together. A marriage is the most logical option. King Alam and you are both of marriageable age, and unspoken for. It is simple as that. My blood boils beneath my skin. I would not believe that my father would promise me a way without my consent. He knew it always has been my wish to take the throne. King Alam has ruled in Andromeda for the past 7 years. He has seniority over me. If I marry him, it will be his decision if we will share responsibility in Andromeda. I don't have to guess what his decision will be. I expect you have proof of this monthly correspondence. He snaps his fingers. One of his servants steps forward from where they wait to close to the wall. He pulls a bundle of letters from a pouch at his waist and places them on the table. My heart pounds in my ears, but I do my best to keep my expression calm. Every part of me cries out with excuses. They must be forgeries. Taken out of context, I will not know until I open them. But to do so now would be a mistake. I see. I will review these later to verify the validity of your claim. You must understand that what comes as somewhat of a shock to the king. I've waited until this setting to bring it up, because I did not want to appear to disparage your father's name or question his honor. I hold nothing but the respect for the late king.
But promises were made, and I intend to see them through.
We certainly understand your point of view. I don't know what I want to give, what voice I want to give Luke. It's kind of all over the place. Understand? No. I understand nothing. My father... Yep. I am going all over the place. Come on. Yes, honestly, the writing is very, very well done. You have done an exceptional job, man. Understand? No. I understand nothing. My father promised me a way to the ruler of a place our kingdom has been at odds with for centuries. It doesn't make any sense. In the meantime, perhaps we might discuss other things? For example, the terms of marriage. What will happen to the borders were a wedding to move forward? The ambassador nods, apparently content to change the subject for the time being. I am not content. I sit tall as I am able, but my mind is spinning.
I will permit time to review the letters.
Alright. Let's see. The options are a naive, an impulsive, or a strategic. Ah. Loon leads the rest of the meeting, effortlessly directing attention away from my listless eyes and keeping the ambassador and his council engaged in discussion. I pull myself together and come up with a few important topics that I'd rather cover sooner than later. I speak when I can, and when I do not feel certain of my words, pass the ball to Loon, who has always been an expert at sounding intelligent without saying anything. Alright, for me, the impulsive choice, without question. Pull yourself together, come up with a few important topics that you'd rather discuss sooner than later. Because you want to address it soon, you want to know where you stand, and be upfront about how you feel. Like, have a good mindset being like, no, I want to know where I stand, I want to know how things are going to go forward, and because I want to have an informed decision whether I am backing the fuck out or going the fuck in. I would say that. So, I cannot afford to show weakness at this crucial moment. If my father truly did promise me to the king, then I will find out soon enough. The first issue at hand is ensuring Andromedans know that I will not allow them to walk all over us. The ambassador seems to have the impression that he holds all the cards. I won't deny that in our position, that our position is not the strongest, but I refuse to bow to threats. After hours of debate over an obscure clause in our treaty that forbids the carrying of latte fruits over the Andromedan border, I decide it's time to adjourn. We all know that we cannot discuss the asteroid in the room, and that's what we're all interested in talking about, so we grow increasingly pedantic, increasingly pedantic. Alright, okay, I said it right. Increasingly pedantic. Huh. We'll reconvene in a week's time. There is a general agreement, and I am first to stand. I walk swiftly to the door, all too eager to get away from the enclosed space to be alone with my thoughts. Sire, we'll speak later. Hush! I need some time. Just before I can exit, the ambassador grabs my wrist and I yank it away. How dare you touch me?
My apologies. I only wish to implore you to consider your options very carefully.
I glower at him and lift my head. Make no mistake, Ambassador. Any decision made will not be made lightly. I exit the room. Anger is plain on my face. I don't know why I'm slipping into British. Anger is plain on my face. My steps are touch too forceful, and it did not matter so much before I was king, but now I don't like people seeing me like this. My first instinct is to go into the gardens. I don't know where I'm going with this voice. I'm terribly sorry that I'm jumping constant ships here. Much like all these different ships that are presented to me, I don't know which one to take. Ah, nice. Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you. Can't wait to hear the voice actors. I'll be excited for that. When the guard leaves me at the door, a bead of tension eases between my shoulders. I walk until I reach the fountain and sit on one of the stone benches. Ship them all together. Alright, let's just be a giant cuddle puddle rainbow. The dry sun beats down aggressively on my head, but it is a relief after the cool air in the castle. An arranged marriage. I knew it would happen one day. The king of Andromeda. Father, what were you thinking? A voice in my head whispers that I will find out soon enough. The sight of that stack of letters on the round table is burned into my head. Each envelope a tick, as if every correspondence had several pages. My father had so much to discuss of me behind my back, lost in thought I do not bear the footsteps coming up the path until they are directly next to me. I thought I'd find you here. Advisor. Lune exhales a long sigh, staring at me from beneath narrowed eyes. Sire, please, I understand when I say that it is only to be of an assistance. You're being childish. Childish? The burden of the crown is a heavy one. You are just now realizing it. But your father knew this. Well, he had to make a hard decision, just like you do now. Note right here. For once, will you stop being the reasonable one? For once, would you stop being the reasonable one? And where would you be if I did that, sire? I simply couldn't say. Advisor, will you not sit with me for a moment? Sire? Only a moment. You found me. Allow me the slightest bit more of procrastination. Lune twists his lips in disapproval, but nevertheless sits next to me, resting his staff, against his leg. I eye the crescent moon at the top. I've always envied Lune's faith. As a royal advisor, he is the holiest man in the castle, so naturally, he is the most devout. I think he'd be happy even with a fraction of that certainty. He never wavers, never doubts, always confident. He is walking the path the planet placed for us. Perhaps a quick prayer. For what? That the letters are anything but what the ambassadors say they are. Sire, have you learned nothing in our lessons? Prayer for the nonsensical will only result in disappointment. Well, that's hardly nonsensical. He could be a compulsive liar, or perhaps he misunderstood the king was explaining. Lune presses his hands together, the fingers of his right pointing to his chin, the fingers of his left pointing away. perhaps a simple prayer for strength. I'm sure I'm the only one you've ever denied a prayer request. Close your eyes. I do, mimicking Loon's hand position. The sun's heat on my face is a simple pleasure, and I bask in it as Loon speaks low. When he finishes, I clap my hands once. May your light guide us. It sucks, because, as I'm, trying to talk slowly, I don't know if it's mucus or something that's at the back. This is going to sound disgusting, and I'm sorry. There's, a slight tail bit of mucus at the back of my nostrils trying to, go right back here. And it's stop, you will allow me to voice act? You will allow me this simple pleasure? You shall not dare stop what is going on here? And I'm like, still, Hydration. I have some wonderful Powerade right here. I also have my sandwich that I didn't finish, so obligatory once per stream snacking. I'm going to pay for that in a second here. I'm a sucker for sandwiches. Thank you for the hydration. Alright, let's go. Loon stands and turns his head towards me. He raises an eyebrow, and I take the hint and stand from the bench with a sigh. We need to see to those letters. I know that he is right. Better to see them sooner rather than later, like cutting off an infected limb. It is silly, but part of me desperately wishes I would just push the whole ordeal aside and attend evening entertainment like everything is normal. Something tells me after I read these letters I won't feel much like attending. Alright, I am ready. Loon nods. Advisor, tell me again how you knew you'd find me in the garden. This is where you always go when you're having a tantrum. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon, I said like a fucking country guy. I beg your pardon now here. I say. Argon Leghorn wants to have a word with you. Loon pretends not to hear me and walks back to the castle doors. I hesitate. I know that whatever is in those letters, I will see a side of my father I have never had before. In my eyes, he was just that, father. He was also a king. Kings have subjects, and kings have pawns. I've never considered before that I could be one of the latter. We walk through the castle, all slowly as I am dragging my feet. I know that Loon is frustrated, but luckily, he has the patience of a planet, and he says nothing. When we arrive at my study, I find the letters already present on my desk. I see you've taken the liberty of entering my study without my permission. Where else was I supposed to put the letters? I want to be annoyed, but I'm far too exhausted from all the negative emotions I've been letting sink inside my bones recently. I take a seat, adjust the crown on my head. It feels heavier than usual. There are 14 letters, the first one dated all the way back to 2 years ago. I'm not sure where to begin. The beginning is always the smart choice. I shoot Loon an irritated look, but pick the letter with the oldest date. I want to have more confidence, because our confidence is looking very meek and mill here. So I feel like I'm having too much of a... I'm probably overthinking this now, because if I'm thinking this and thinking back to certain games, I would run into this problem where I would be doing choices, and because I would be trying to, like, I wouldn't say optimizing, but because I'm trying to do a little bit of everything, be a bit confident, be a bit witty, be a bit spontaneous, be a bit everything, I would lose out on the bigger picture, and I wouldn't have enough to actually do anything by the end of it. I think that's what I'm doing here. However, as I'm saying this, I also see it does not matter for either of these two choices, because both of these I have abysmal on. So I don't want to be spoiled. Or spontaneous. I'm spoiled, naive. Oh, that's the level that I'm at? I thought spoiled was spontaneous. Or maybe I am currently just spoiled and not spontaneous at the moment. Aggressive, strategic, dental. Huh. Alright, I want to do this confidently, though. I'm gonna do that. I'm so frazzled by the tidy black script on the page, it looks like gibberish for several long seconds before I'm able to make sense of it. I skip over the first few lines, knowing they are nothing but greetings and polite fillers, heading straight to the meat of the letter. Yet ready to consider the trade ban up for discussion. However, I do have another proposal for you. You are at an age where soon you will need a partner to keep your kingdom in balance. It is my understanding that you have yet to express interest in eligible matches in Andromeda. I assume you have not looked at Latte due to our history, but I write to tell you that your interest would be welcome. My heir, Legacy, will soon be of marriable age. I believe it would be in both our kingdom's interest to make arrangements. This union could bring a new era of peace between our people. Legacy still has much to learn about being a suitable ruler and a suitable match, but this time will be nothing compared to the decades our kingdoms have been at odds. That is why, with the signing of this letter, I officially list Legacy as a betrothal prospect, and vow that on Legacy's 22nd birthday, the marriage may move forward. You have always... I cannot read any further! I drop the letter to the desk, my eyes staring forward, sightless. My 22nd birthday is in a few short months. I notice my hand shaking and pull it close, to me to hide it underneath the desk. Not only had my father promised me away, he had done so of his own accord. There was no threat, no imminent danger that could only be resolved by a political marriage. This letter is from 2 years ago. That means that for all the times we spoke of me taking the throne, my father had no intention of actually allowing it. Ugh. He lied to me. Ooh. My chest aches for betrayal. My breast aches for betrayal. Sire. Yes, advisor? My voice comes out hollow. It's doing it again. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm going to, like, do nasal decongestion because I'm trying to do voices and I'm having... So, while I take a quick moment, here again is that link for you guys to look at. This is, again, Celestial Crown. Making sure I got that name right. Yep, Celestial Crowns is an 18+ otome fantasy novel. All the fun little works. You guys can have a lot of fun with this game. There's really good writing, and it has a Kickstarter open right now. We are taking a preview look-see thanks to the ever so wonderful grace of the development team. So thank you guys. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Alright, if that doesn't clean out my sinuses, I don't know what will. Let's get back in. Bye. With some effort, I turn to look up at Loon. There's a distinct look of discomfort on his face, as if my emotions make him uncomfortable. Ooh. Naive or fuck. I don't like either of these choices. It's not fair the way I look at it. Not wanting him to see the naked hurt on my eye. It's not fair. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna eke out a few tears. Gonna have that, like, stare off at the camera, give the single teardrop. Yep. Sorry. Please stop that. I mean, it shows that vulnerability, and this is like a moment between the two, so it's like nice that you could open up. And it does suck. It does suck to have to be told that your father didn't think highly of you, or potentially didn't think, like, the promises that were made were potentially empty. So it does, that sucks. That really sucks. It's heartbreaking, and yeah. This is a trusted confidant who's seen you through many of things throughout the time, and I think it's better to be naive than spoiled in this moment, because even if you're naive to the greater workings of things and wanting more of a pretty lifestyle for yourself, it is better to have that breakdown of naivety then be spoiled about it and obstinate, I would say. The tears spill over my cheeks, and I cover my face with my hands, embarrassed by my behavior. I am a king, yet here I am crying over being lied to by my father. There is no helping it. My whole life, I have been led to believe I would take the throne of Latte. Why? Why bother with the deceit? I thought there were no secrets between us. I thought he shared everything with me. If he had told me he thought this was his best, that this was right, then I could have accepted it. But this... Lune clears his throat and takes a step back. You knew that you would need to marry for political reasons. Surely there's no need for... He gestures at my face. Yes. But in Latte, I was told I was destined to rule. It is my birthright. These words make Lune stiffen. He turns away from me, one hand lifting to cover his mouth. Leave me. Yeah, it wouldn't be right to like do a deeper sense for this, but I don't know, when in my brain it was like, you know what, hold up, I want to try something. I want to try something. All right. Yes. Button Latte. I was told. I was raised that I would be destined to rule. This is my birthright. This is what I have left of him. That's kind of what I would also kind of add on right there. Turns away, lifting one hand to cover his mouth. Leave me. Lune's opened his mouth like he might protest, then closes it again and shakes his head. As you wish. Oh, an advisor? Call just the Latte Council together in the morning. There is something we must discuss. Thank you, Avery. Lune gives a short bow, then hurries to the door. For a second, all I can do is stare out the window. Then, I stand. It feels difficult to be placed where I spent so much time with my father. But there's nowhere else in the castle I could go that wouldn't remind me of him. So instead, I go to the stables. A ride could be just what I need to clear my head. As I am now, I don't think I'm going to give any productive thoughts. I consider briefly calling a servant to prepare one of my horses, but push the idea aside. I'll do it myself. I'd rather have as little human contact as possible. The god behind me is already enough to set me on edge. Damn it, Bertrand, can't you see I want a moment? When I reach the stables, Sai is there, brushing down his destrier. His horse. I walk in, and the guard remains posted outside. He stops brushing a moment to stretch. As he's rolling out his shoulders, he spots me. Sire, unusual to see you here this time of day. Sai and my father were close. Perhaps closer than the two of us were. Knowing this, I stop at the stable entrance, unable to approach. Could Sahi have known this whole time what was coming and refrained from telling me of my father's orders? Oh, I sense a scandal. I sense an outrage. I sense reasons to potentially be fumed at this gentleman right here. Your armor will not protect you from my rage. Sire, is everything okay? You seem to be staring at me with daggers. Brazen ones at that. Yes, General, I have a question I must ask you. It is regarding my father. I know you and he were close. I know this is very probably far-fetched. This is probably woefully far-fetched. And I don't know if I'm just reading into it too much or if it's my ADHD brain just working overtime. But is one of the significances of the cuts on their eyebrow potentially that he could take the place of him? Or, like, he could take my... I don't know, that probably wouldn't work. Would it? I think I'm reading too much of this. I think I'm reading too much of Sahi taking the place of the king / prince, our prince legacy. Sorry. I read that. And like being kind of a scapegoat for legacy here. I'm probably reading too much into it. Because like the cut on the eyebrow, it's the exact same. It was like a detail I think you would see in like one of those, oh, we're like a Freaky Friday situation where we could take the other's place. And no one would know until like years later when it's too late and the marriage has already taken place. Again, reading too much into it. Yes, General. I have a question I must ask you. It is regarding my father. I know you and he were close. I don't know about that. Oh, don't be coy. You saw him more than I did. Yeah, it was, well, I'm real sorry for your loss. Aw, those are the bitch gaze of a person who knows and just is like, I'm about to be found out real quick. Look at these eyes. Look at these. I'm a bitch who knows shit and don't want to say it eyes. Our loss. Sai bows his head in agreement. I close my eyes, pushing away grief from this conversation. This conversation is not about that. Poor Sahi. I feel... Alright, perhaps I'm picking on Sahi too much. I'm sorry. I'm probably picking on Sahi too much. It's probably one of those situations where they know, but we're sworn to secrecy. Probably was at the deathbed of the king, of the previous king, and was like, I promise, we'll do right for the country, I'll see after them. I have my vow of knighthood, and I will do my best to look after them, regardless of my own self-interests. Or maybe, alright, I'm going to get too much into this. Maybe he's just like, alright, maybe the king was an asshole, and you just have an idealization of your father that you really shouldn't have. And Sahi knows the truth, but doesn't want to break down the mold that you have of this perfect king that was your father. And in retrospect, your father's an asshole. And Sahi's trying to protect you from that realization and trying to let you live in the world of naivete that he might enjoy you being in simply because he likes to see you smile. It takes me some time to formulate a question that will lead to the answer that I want. In all your time together, did he ever say anything about me that might have stuck out? What do you mean? I don't know. Anything unusual or unexpected? Well, he talked about you a lot. How proud he was. How your studies were going. What song you were learning on the violin. Normal things a father might say that would help me avoid a conversation such as this. Look, I am a DM for D&D games, and I have weaponized my ADHD to craft a million different what-if stories. So this way, no matter what my players choose, I have some semblance of an idea of where the story should go. So I'm just looking at this being like, alright, I have A, B, C, D, E. Alright, let's see this. Let's have this theory go here. This plug-and play right there. Actually, this is a proper question to ask. Because I don't really know the age of the previous king, nor of Sahi. Because otherwise I'll go on another wild tangent. Is that Sahi was the young buck looking up to the prince, and that was the first love that he couldn't get, and now is like, cause oh, you're too old for me, and like we can't be together, and he's like, but your son kind of cute though, and kind of like you, and just kind of like, yeah, you know what, that's a whole different impersonation. That's a whole different rabbit hole. Never mind. I'm gonna throw that one away. Continuing onward. I can't help but purse my lips. Less than abused than what I might normally be. Because I don't know the ages of some of these characters, so I'm like, alright, it's like medieval times. They have like, there's all sorts of wild stuff. I've watched Game of Thrones. I know, like, oh, when I'm 27 in your early 40s, we could maybe have something together. I don't know, maybe. I still look up to you. We're both mature adults wanting to be together. Let me see, what is it? You have a kid and I can raise him like my own. Sahi hums. I press further, deciding the direct prompting might help. I'm also... I theory craft and stuff too, and I don't know if there is an option if I were to like hover or right click over a character, if it could... Or actually, you know what, there's probably a history. You know what, there's a wonderful toolbar over here that I'm probably not utilizing to the best of its ability. Enable auto forward, toggle stats. Okay, so those are my stats. These are this. Open the settings. These are all my settings. Tooltip, left, right, skip, sound, audio, which is good. Speed of credits. Boom, boom, boom. History. Okay, this is a history of things that have been said. Okay, gotcha. Those are always useful. Those are always wonderful. The credits, the help. Is there anything that gives me like a profile on this person, on Sahi, here, that I could see? Oh, nope, that's just saving. Let's return. I will quick save here. I'm surprised I haven't saved at all during this whole playthrough. I'm just like, you know what? No, balls to the walls. I'm gonna do this in one shot, go all the way through, no saving, no nothing. I'll go back and play the whole damn to figure out what it is I'm doing. Okay, sweet. Yeah, because then I can get like, I can honest. All right, this person is this. They have, at least from what I know, this interest and this like, this hobby and this thing. Little tidbits, little TLDRs on people. Did he ever speak of marriage? Marriage? Sahi looks away, clearly flustered. That reaction seals it for me. Alright, hold up. Don't jump to conclusions. We are logical thinkers. We are not in, like, shonen protagonist levels of accusations here. We can look at a person, see that they're clearly hiding something, and not jump to a conclusion. We can be strategic. That bottom line right there. Tell me, General, as I give you the bombastic side-eye, when did the king tell you of his plan to marry me off to King Alang? As I, you know what? Bombastic side-eye right at you. His what? From the flabbergasted look on Sahi's face, I realized that I jumped to conclusions, but at least I did so in a way that explained my train of thought. So out of the 3 options that I had, I at least did not jump to something that probably would have been worse, but Okay, what was the choice again? Okay. Why did you not tell me what father was planning? So either, alright. Sahi is giving off the golden retriever, like the good knight. And I'm just drilling in all the accusations and speculations. I think while... See, this is why I hate how I think sometimes. While I could go on the... I'm still going to continue with the choice that I made. But I think, looking at it in retrospect, if I had went, General, why did you not tell me what father was planning? I could have lightly accused him of something of which I know nothing about, and perhaps uncover something new that I don't know, and he didn't know that I know, but I think that he knew that I think that I knew something, so then I end up knowing, because now that I accuse him of me knowing that he thinks I don't know, but I do know of something, not the thing that he knew, it would reveal a deeper plot. That would be the only one. If I wouldn't choose the bottom one, I would choose the middle one. I'm not choosing the top one. Yes, I realize that I jumped to conclusions. I clear my throat and fold my hands together. I see. So you don't know either. No, I didn't. He really... Alright. Again, with my brain and the way it's thinking, the middle one isn't a bad choice. And I feel like the middle one would have uncovered more, like, deeper story stuff that he probably... I feel like the explanation I just gave was the explanation and reason why I should have chosen that choice. But I already made my choice, so here it is. I'm gonna go with my choices, yeah. The other thing that I would think of is, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks, I feel like the alternative to your father setting you up with the other prince, I feel like your father just set you up with everyone in secret. Everybody. And the only person who wasn't fooled was, God, I'm so bad with names. Your priest, your advisor. I feel like your advisor was the only one that wasn't fooled and sees your father setting you up with everyone. Everyone's set up to just be a potential prospect because it's the parental thing of like, oh, I just want you to have your own family and start a life that you want. To all the boys I loved before. Have a pleasant evening. Oh, jeez. Alright, hold up. Apparently, well then. Please forget this conversation, General. Have a pleasant evening. I wet my lips, trying to keep my expression from betraying just how affected I've been by this. Wait, sire! He takes a step toward me, but I turn to my horse and focus on saddling her. Good day. I say good day. Sahi hesitates, but takes the dismissal for what it is. After a few seconds, he returns to his own task. And his own horse. It still won't sink in. To have my father agree to a proposal is one thing, but for him to suggest it with no prompting? Why, father? Is it merely because you were seeking your deathbed ahead of your time, preparing for the worst? The worst part is, I'll never know. Just like the center of a Tootsie Pop. The next morning, I feel sufficiently ready to tackle the tasks ahead of me. Yesterday, I was too flustered to do anything but remain on the defensive, but today, I've centered myself. Last night's prayers helped ease my troubled mind. I say good day, sir. After a brisk walk about the garden, I enter the council room just in time for the meeting. Lune looks up at my entrance, relief in his eyes. I'm rather offended that he thought I would not attend. Council Member Scythe.
Sire, please, we have been patient. You must tell us your thoughts about Andromeda's proposal. Personally, I believe marriage is the best option. We are nowhere near ready for war.
Council Member Bellatrix. Oh, our weapons are far better than theirs.
We must crush them in war and show that latte is not to be messed with.
This is why I asked us all to meet. The General had an interesting idea the other day. I'm going all over the place with my voices again. I meet Sahi's eyes, and they go wide, as if he had not really expected me to bring it before the council. Oh, did he? Lune shook Sahi a look. He proposed an ending to the trade there. The words are an effective silencer. The few remaining whispers that floated around stopped. All eyes focus on me in various forms of disbelief.
An agreement to trade? They will do nothing but take advantage.
King Alam is a lot of things, but he has proven himself. He has not proven himself to be underhanded. Perhaps it is possible this is all he truly wants. Sire, I do not think it wise to take the advice of a commoner. The General may sit here with us now, but let's not forget where he came from. He does not even have any formal schooling. I thought the idea a smart one.
Well, ending the trade ban does not necessarily mean immediately opening up our goods to trade. We can do it in steps. I could, in fact, increase our dwindling revenue.
Andromeda has been our enemy for centuries. The second we give them access to our mines and our forest, they'll begin amassing a stockpile of weapons they'll use to invade.
as paranoid as ever I see.
Oh, I'll show you, paranoid, you blithering oaf. Members of the council, let us discuss this calmly. I see this as a viable third option, one that might solve the problems we have with the other two. However, as a council member Bellatrix mentions, there is a chance that this good faith gesture might be taken advantage of. Even if it is not, we will lose whatever leverage we currently have over Andromeda. I'm not saying I've made my decision, merely that this is something to consider as well. The general murmur of agreement at my side, Lune leans close to me. I suppose then, since you're so intent on considering this option, you've also considered specifics. What do you mean? Well, there are 184 clauses in the trade manual. Each one must be addressed. Yes, well... Will citizens be allowed to cross borders? Will there be a merchant limit? Will goods still be regulated? Each question Lune lists off makes me feel more and more unsure of myself. I'm not so naive as to think it could have been a clean split, but I didn't realize it would be a complicated one either. Well, those are decisions we can make when smoothing out the fine details. And what if those details is determined to be the impossible one to manage? What if King Alam does not accept your proposal for an alternative? There must be some sort of regulations in place. We agree on that, yes?
Obviously, free trade would be a disaster.
The other council members begin chiming in, each bringing up one more facet that I had not taken into consideration. I know that Lune is watching me, waiting for me to crumble, but I try to remain firm, even as my head begins to spin.
How will this new proposal be any different from a peace treaty? Andromeda does not have a good history with peace treaties. Do they even have any currently in place?
Ha! Andromeda at peace? That is a laugh. One thing we can all agree that is doable. That it is doable, yes? The room goes silent.
Well, in theory, yes.
Yes, certainly doable. We will consider it in that light. Doable, yes. But you must think of the effort it will take to dismantle such a complicated system. Yes, well, you could say that war will take time and effort as well. Even marriage. We'll need to establish a new treaty between Andromeda and Lute if a marriage were to move forward. Would that not just be as time-consuming?
Oh, that's a fair point, sire.
I don't think you're taking into consideration that marriage between two kingdoms allows for certain certainties. Certainties? Yeah, certain certainties. Yeah, alright, never mind, I was just double looking at that. A new trade proposal does not do that. I hold up a hand. I have made up my mind that we are all in agreement that it is a viable option, and I will consider it so. The conversation continues, but again dwindles into argument before long, and so I call it. I'm glad you're appreciating the voices I have given these council members. I think that is enough for today. You all are dismissed. Each council member bows their head and stands. They meander to the floor, leaving one by one until only Lune and Sahi are left. Sahi looks between Lune and me, lingering by his chair. Sire, may I speak with you once you've adjourned? You may. Do you have need of me, sire? No, General. The advisor and I must discuss something in private. Alright. Sahi bows and walks out, looking back only once. Puppy dog eyes and is flitting a little bit of his hair. He closes the door behind him. As soon as it clicks shut, Loon stands and whirls around to face me. Sire, I cannot believe you would bring this council without first discussing it with me. Are you mad? He speaks fast and with irritation. Plain, more emotion than I usually see from him. It snatches me off guard in several seconds before I can respond. No, in fact, I think it may be the solution we're looking for. And what of the southern kingdoms? What of them? What will they say when they see us giving Andromeda special treatment? Several of our treaties are only in place because they know we had a trade ban with Andromeda. I'm taken back by this news. I hadn't realized. I know all of our treaties took years, sometimes decades, to put in place, and nearly all of them are on tenuous grounds. Perhaps it is the nature of things, but the kingdom seems to rebel against peace. Everyone always wants more. This has to mean that others will get less. Well, we'd have a look into this as well. This is why you should have discussed it with this first. You've only been a king a month. You can't make these decisions on your own. Loon steps closer to me, eyes flashing. Do you understand why the ban was instated? Andromeda was growing too powerful, bullying us with our own resources. If we remove it, it will only be a matter of time before their army is more powerful than we could ever imagine. They will wipe us off the map. If their king has any ounce of honor in his body, as my father seemed to think he does, then this will be a way to strengthen both our kingdoms, which is the path forward. Ending the trade ban would be like handing Lot to Andromeda on a silver platter. You say you do not want war, yet you will bare our throats for the kill. I stand straighter, not willing to take the accusation. Alright. Some more theory crafting here. So they made it was a really good point between Sahi and the king. This talk of trade ban is very much a moot point, or is potentially very much a moot point, if you're going to unite the two kingdoms anyway, especially with one as a dictator over you. Because in history, when you had a merger of kingdoms, yeah, there could be some autonomy, with the prior kingdom, but especially in a case like this where there wouldn't really be a successor, there would be like a successor who would be appointed, that could hold very little weight. So if you're marrying into this other kingdom that you're kind of barring from trade simply because you don't want them to kind of take over you, you're kind of giving them that option to take over you through marriage instead. You're giving one of your figureheads somewhat potential power, but in terms of a political marriage, not really. Because it's the stronger force that's going to have the greater pull, and they could already take some resources, they could already intermingle the two societies and eventually just become one anyway. So to reopen up a trade ban would be more... It would be more on the grounds of keeping your society the way it is while changing the status quo. I don't know. That's me. That's me thinking too much a bit into this. I'm like, I will continue with the romancing. No, Loon slams his hand down on the table and the sound startles me into silence. Ooh. Yeah. You know what? No, calm yourself. Be like, all right, look here. I understand. I'm standing in silence, unmoving. No, no. We're not having that. We are stating our ground as like, hey, calm down. Speak to me like a rational human being, and talk to me. Like, I want to examine this as an option. I want to go forward moving with this, and bringing it up isn't not a fact of relinquishing that control. Is is Lumi a little bit of a control freak? Because it's like having that sense of strategy and planning. Like we kind of broke this character down to being like, oh, the person who kind of knows it all is like, oh, is this a chink in that little armor? Is this something not going into according to one of your plans, or like you seeing things and like people making, yes, potentially dumb decisions, but they're making dumb decisions while actively thinking about all their options. So it's just not the way that you think it should go. Hmm. Calm yourself. Lumine, Loon's, sorry, had an itch. Loon's eyes widen, then he looks away. For a moment, we sit in silence. It is an oppressive silence, and we refuse to break it. And I refuse to break it. This behavior is completely inappropriate and out of character. What on earth has him so worked up about this idea? Is he truly so worried about what might happen? I wouldn't say control freak, but more so in regards to like choosing safer options as opposed to like riskier ones, like options that are already known. Like when I think of certain tactical characters in anime and other things. Oh, you would say you would say control freak? All right, well, that answers my question right there. Oh man. Please accept my apologies. You lost your composure there, Loon. Careful, you're slipping. Next thing you know, we're going to be kissing. Oh, who knows? Better keep those lips puckered. What? Oh man. I nod my head, watching his expression gradually revert to its unusual neutral state. I suppose even Loon is allowed to have his outburst every once in a while. Jupiter knows I do. Oh yeah, it's the perfect job for a control freak, and I've known people in my life that aren't so much control freaks, but they very much prefer to have an understanding of like minimal unknowns and go into a situation with mostly what they know and then comfortably edge into the unknown through that way. So I am very much a person who's like really hmm, like my ADHD brain and like how I act sometimes. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to learn the hard way or I'm going to learn the easy way. Let's go. And I have made so many mistakes in my past. Huh. I have made so many mistakes in my past that I've just like accepted that not everything can have this scope of control, that it's nice to just like go off and attempt shit and try, and like if whatever works and whatever doesn't, hopefully you could try again. And then that being said, though, there are some situations where I'm like, all right, no, tactical brain on. Let me evaluate the situation. These are my knowns, these are my unknowns. These are the situations that would best lead to more optimal routes of these things that I'm trying to accomplish and achieve, and I should try to work towards that. It, it's very weird how my brain works sometimes. And I don't want to say like, oh, well, I'm a Gemini. I have two different sides, so it's just like, oh, one side of you is just always ready to do that, and the other side is just ready to do that, and that's why you have basically you have polar opposites that are just working in tandem to a unified body that you are. And I'm like, oh yeah, And other parts of me is like, it's just me. uh, that is very fair. I know quite a few cancers. My mom's actually a cancer too. So it is a fun time. All right. I nod my head, watching his expression gradually revert to its usual positive space. Even Loon is allowed to have his outbursts. Yeah. He curls his fingers around the rosary wrapped around his wrist. Clearly, I am not in the right frame of mind to discuss this. Let's talk later. Loon turns and exits the room. I stare at the door for a moment before making my way over there myself. I have to consider what Loon being my advisor means. It would have been more appropriate for me to discuss it with him before bringing it to the council. Thinking of it this way, I can see why Loon would be angry with me. My father was a man who always followed the rules. Loon is not used to being blindsided like that. He shouldn't have to be. I cannot let my anxiety take precedence over procedure. There are reasons the rules are the way they are. A knock on the door pulls me out of my thoughts. Celeste comes in with a curtsy. Celeste! Sire, it's time for the royal favor. I blink in surprise. Really? Celeste tilts her head. Are you feeling alright? Yes. I've just been preoccupied lately. I forgot what day it was. I follow Celeste. She have little freckles? Aw, that's awesome. I like little freckles. Greet the droves of commoners that always come in these days. It has been a long-held tradition that the royals imbue some of their divine favor in the people, but it can get rather dull. Not to mention, I'm unsure whether it truly works. Loon would call that thinking blasphemy, but I can't help but feel we are too far from our ancestors. Upon arriving at the throne room, there is already a line of people leading out the large double doors. I hold my head high and take the throne, settling in and nodding when I am ready to receive the first in line. It is a small girl about 7. She skips up eagerly, falling to her knees at my feet. I suppress a smile, reaching out and pressing the very tips of my fingers to her head. She looks up at me and she beams. I hold my hand out, she leans in to kiss it. The whole process takes no more than 5 seconds, and then the next person in line comes up. I can already feel myself beginning to zone out. Perhaps this is something I can discuss with the council meeting ending. I am king now. After about 100 of my subjects have received divine favor, I notice a presence to my right. I glance over to see Ambassador Rift watching me. Is there something I can do for you, Ambassador?
I was just thinking that all this seems rather bizarre.
I glare at him. This is a long-standing tradition with my people. Show some respect. That was the voice I had before for him. That's right.
Nah. Forgive me then.
Annoyed that he echoed my earlier thoughts, I wave a free hand, focusing my attention back to the man currently kissing my hand.
I'm looking forward to our next meeting. Have you had a chance to review the letters?
Indeed.
Your thoughts?
You said you were looking forward to the meeting. I'd hate to spoil the surprise. I wait impatiently for him to leave me to my work, but he does not seem to have any intention of doing so.
May I try?
Try what?
To receive divine favor. Andromeda has no such practice.
Oh, that fucking smug smirk motherfucker. That smug smirk motherfucker. I do like this design though a lot. I noticed this the first time too. I like the way the shoulder pads just kind of roll off in nice frills. It looks... Because this looks like a mixture of clothing, but also having design elements of armor, which I think is awesome. And generally, I think guys need a lot more style, and I appreciate this ensemble. I would actually wear this ensemble because it looks nice. I like the golden cuff bracer that looks there, the puffy arm sleeves, the armor like shoulder pauldrons that are a part like a vest design. Plus, like the vest / jacket. It's what would you call that? It's like it's like a long. I wouldn't say coat. It's like a sleeveless, almost like a sleeveless trench coat or something like that. I don't know. This design I really like a lot, genuinely. Please know he needs to be bullied, not praised. He's already too confident. But it's true. Like, look at it. Oh, man. Like, there's a reason for that confidence, and it's all right there. Oh, man. Like, I know this is a person that has too much confidence, that has a check that they have cashed that is already too much that. He's growing too powerful. But it's a really good design. It's a really good design. As I said, I would cosplay this. Yeah, like, is there like hold up, can I hide this? I don't know if there's a way for me to hide this HUD. So this way I could at least see. I'm not trying to stare at his crotch or anything, but I kind of wanted to see like the full design right here. Because also like the art is wonderful, wonderfully done. Press H to hide the text box. Okay, yeah, but like look at that. Like, that's a solid look. That's a really solid look. Alright. If you'd like, however... I was doing the wrong voice. If you'd like, however, you'll have to wait in line. Said line is still out the door. No sign of an end in sight. The ambassador checks this for himself and then bows his head in defeat. Ah, you giving up? This could have been... Alright, there's a point away right there. This could have been that moment to shine, to be like, alright, bet, I'll wait. You would have, like, supreme confidence right there if he had done that. Supreme. So, then bows his head in defeat. I have to hide a smirk and then threatens to curl my lips as he finally leaves my dies. I legitimately, I'm sorry, would have won me over right there if he had been like, I guess I'll be the 100th person then. And then just walked over. That power move. With the bother gone, I am able again to zone out. continuing the repetitive motions until I can do so without thinking. The guards do not allow people through the gates past noon, so I know about when I can expect the line to end. Hours later, another woman kisses my hand, bows, scurries after with a smile. It is a trying task, but it is nice to see that it makes people so happy. Perhaps I will leave the tradition be. Oh! Shit! Oh, he did it! He did it! He did it! The power play! The power play! True to my word! They're beautiful. Beautiful. It's too powerful. It's too powerful. The next person in line steps up, and I'm startled to see the Andromedan ambassador. He kneels at my feet and bows his head. Damn. Oh, wow. Alright, yep. I have no idea what to do. I do. I stare at him for so long that Celeste clears her throat. Your Highness, the favor. Ah, yes. Sorry, I was enamored. I was taken back for a second. I was struck by the power play. It takes me some time before I can bring myself to reach out and tap his curls. I hadn't expected him to actually wait. In fact, I was sure he would not. Why would he? Ambassador Rift looks up at me and takes my hand. His fingers are startlingly warm. I flinch up against the unexpected heat, and I feel silly for it. The kiss he gives me is brief and no different from any of the others. Oh, that face right there. That face. Oh. Afterwards, he does not release my hand, and through my instinct, it is to pull away, and the sheer audacity of the whole situation makes me stiff. You know, the reverse power play of this, and I don't know if it'll happen, but the reverse power play for the king to be like, oh, a little. Let's see if I can come up with a line for it right now. Be like, your diligence. Yeah. I see your diligence is the same as perhaps your king's. One might not get too comfortable in one station. Something like that would be a reverse power play to be like, all right, I see what you're doing here. You're getting a little too comfortable there. You know, you got a king to report to. Unless you're stepping up to be first in line for like a second wife, second mistress. He looks up at me, expression as severe as usual. Then he smirks. Perhaps it has some effect after all. I know the strat. I know the strat. I'm definitely not speechless. But if it were instead something like the yes, I don't know. Second waifu ambassador. Based on these choices, I have to go with I stare at him disapprovingly because I just pointed that out. It's like I see what you're doing here. You're going to need to try a little harder, but I see what you're doing here. So I'm gonna do that. I wouldn't. Irritated is not the word I would use. Just be like knowing. You're like, I take my hand back. Utterly irritated that he would have the be so patient simply to spite me. He seems far too smug for my liking, but I have no idea what to say. I cannot chastise him for following orders after all, can I? the dot dot dot! No, I suppose not. Your turn is over. I lowered my voice as much as Frost as I can muster. But he is unaffected. He leaves without a bow, which irritates me further. I twist my seat to watch him leave, hardly able to believe the sequence of events. Oh, man. Alright, I'm going to just say this. I'm going to wrap things up a bit shortly. I will definitely be streaming this again. I'm going to finish out whatever scene this is right here, and then call it a time for there. I'm definitely having a huge ball with this. I know a bunch of my friends who love Otome games. I'm like, hey, here we go, streaming this. We're going to try this out, see how this goes. I know a lot of people who'd enjoy this a lot, and I'm having fun doing little funny voices for things. So, remembering that I am in the middle of my duties, I thrust my hand out to tap the next person's head, perhaps a bit harder than necessary, trying to push what happens out of my head. I am unsuccessful, so instead I begin to compose a letter to King Alam in my head about how I will demand he choose a new ambassador for Latte. This is going to be a trying month, I'm sure. At my side, I hear Celeste stifling laughter, and I turn my head to glare at her. Nothing about this is amusing. I try to put on a pleasant smile for the remaining people who've come to receive favor, but my mood has been thoroughly soured. It was simply bizarre and nearly flirtatious. He is not a match. He is not allowed to flirt with me. It simply isn't done. Though he clearly was doing it, and I should... Anyway, when I consider the situation, though, I wonder if it was flirting. You goddamn know it was. Or if he was only meant to anger me. I mean, both. Why not both? And succeeded. Either way, I'm unhappy about it. I mean, take it as you want. If you want to be unhappy about it, sure, but lay some options here. I will have to consult Celeste. She is knowledgeable in these matters. She has penchant for collecting castle gossip, and it almost always ends up being rumors about romantic liaisons. I have no interest in that, but her renditions of the stories are entertaining in their own right. After the last of the commoners are gone, I slump in my seat, the throne room finally empty, save for the guards. Hey there, Bertrand. Celeste and I. Bertrand, can you believe that, man? Can you believe that, Ambassador? I know, you saw it too. Like, bold. 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 Power play. Bold. I believe that it's just about time for your afternoon tea with Advisor Lumiere, Your Majesty. That is all you have to say? Did you see that? That man? Sorry, Bertrand, I said your conversation when I obviously am about to have it with Celeste right now. What man? I jump from my seat, intending to remind her of what occurred, but her sudden burst into laughter stops me, and I'm like, I'm only joking, sire. Wow, you're still so worked up about it. That was awfully bold of him. I scoff. More than! It's a shame you can't marry him instead. Oh, you must be joking. Marry that impertinent man? Celeste giggles and I roll my eyes. I forgot that she has a terrible habit of inventing romance where there is none. Fucking called it. I believe she calls it shipping. I'm positive if I try to speak any further, she'll only insist that we were destined Or some rot like that. Wow. So instead I push Andromeda, Ambassador, out of my head entirely. And lead the way into the study. Normally Celeste would part around this hour to take her lunch, but she falls into steps behind me. I wish the Royal Painter had been present. Your face when he came up next in line nearly made me cry. It was trying so hard not to laugh. Well, I'm glad you've got some entertainment out of that. 3 more royal favors while he's here. Think he'll come again? He had better not. I'm going to write a formal complaint to King Alam. And what will you say? King Alam, I'm writing a complaint of your ambassador that asked to be involved in the traditional latte activity and then participated after I gave him permission. Wow, calling you out, bro. Jesus. I fold my arms across my chest and do not speak of Celeste the rest of the way to the study. She giggles for the whole journey and continues even after I yank open the door to go inside. Alright, I'm putting a pause here. You're a whole can of worms that I'm going to have to unpack. And I do not have all the time for that right now. So I will put a hold on you, Loon. You wait right there for next stream. I will save the game right there. Oh, man. Perfect timing. Alright, friends. So, this has been our ever wonderful journey into Celestial Crowns. A wonderful game that is being kickstarted right now. Go ahead, check it out, go see the links. Once again, here's the links through Twitter right now. Have that again. Check those links, follow the Twitter, follow it on Steam. Check it out. Try out the demo for yourself. Have some fun with it. Maybe get friends to see how it is. Pick your ships, pick your ideas. I'm interested to see what all the characters are. Is there a gallery right here? I don't know what I should and should not do on stream because I have this early little access to it. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I am interested to see how the choices will weigh. My crazy crack theories from earlier, we'll see what happens and comes about them. But still, wanted to thank everybody. Want to thank Avery. Want to thank Carl. Want to thank Min. Want to thank all of you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'll be streaming again in like an hour, streaming with some Gundam tournaments. So if you want to go from ships to ships, alright, from ships to mechas, come join us for some Gundam tournament in about an hour or so. So thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I will be very eager to play this again. So until next time, guys. This is Heroes Legacy signing out. Remember, keep on being a hero. Bye. Oh, man. It was a lot of fun.